What is going on, guys? Today the R32 is going to get some more low. So initially this was just going to be a temporary thing. I thought maybe later in the year I'll get some coilovers, but things changed, and as of filming this video I have already ordered the coilovers and they're going to come in like a month. But in the meantime I do want to get this done. So I want to say thank you to Iron Hit Farms on Instagram. I'll have his thing here. He got coilovers, so he sent me the lowering springs that were on his car because I have lowering springs in the back and not the front. The car came with totally stock suspension and the rears were blown, and they're actually kind of blown again. But I got some rears off of another car that got coilovers, thank you Carlos, and he didn't know that it had lowering springs already. So he sent me the rears, and then when they showed up I saw that they had Eibach springs, so I was like, okay, well now I'm gonna look dumb. But anyways, my suspension is still blown. It is still squeaking really badly. It's really embarrassing. So that was another motivating factor to get coilovers. In the meantime, here's the Skyline. Looks okay, I guess. Here are the springs. He sent me all of them. I have to see which are fronts and rears. Oh, look at that. Rear. So I'm assuming these two are the fronts then, because these two look the same. So we gotta lift the car up, take the wheels off, and pull the shocks out. So I'm more used to S chassis where it doesn't have this upper control arm assembly thing. I believe this is Z32, the way that this is set up, but it's just one bolt down there. We got our two up top, and then we can pull the shock out, and then we can pull the shock out. But it looks like this one was leaking as well, so my fronts are probably also blown. Just pushed the shit out of this finger. That's awesome. But we got it out. So let me get the other side out and then we'll take these springs off. So I got the other side out, didn't smash my fingers, so that's great. So if you've never done lowering springs or changed shocks or anything, there's this tool that will compress the spring on both sides, which you have to do that before you take this top nut off. The spring is under a lot of pressure, and if you just take that off, really bad stuff can happen. This is one of the most terrifying things to do on a car, and I hate doing it. But the Skyline needs low, and I have lowering springs, so we're going to throw them on. Okay, so now we have the spring not touching the bottom, so we can now safely take this off. Even when taking this off, don't put yourself in front of it. Be to the side, because you never know what could happen. So, a couple things. One, this is totally blown. It should come back on its own, but it just stays. So, fronts are blown as well. Oh man, that's fun. I'm so glad I already ordered the coilovers. I just hate that I have to wait so long. Another thing, I had to redo the threads on here because when the nut came off, it destroyed the threads. So I had to get a die on here, and to do that, I had to cut this top piece off. Now, I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not. I know that piece is there so you can like clamp it and take the nut off so this doesn't spin. What I've been doing is just using vice grips and clamping onto here, which don't know if that's recommended or not, probably not. But we have the first lowering spring ready to go, so we just gotta throw it on here, throw everything back together, and then we're done with one. So if you're not like me and you have friends, definitely have someone help you. Trying to wrestle this is really annoying. It took me 15 minutes to get this thing on by myself, and I still have one more to do. Now I'm hoping the threads are fine on this one when I take it off. If not, we'll have to do the same thing. Okay, well, two done. Thankfully, we don't have to do the rears. I am already tired. I just want to throw these on. I think I put this one on wrong. There's bushings and stuff in here. Just make sure that the way that you took everything off, everything goes back on the same way. And make sure you tighten this nut before you take those clamp compressor things off. Now that we're done, we can throw them on the car, drop the car, make sure that it doesn't rub, and then we are good to go. Alright, both sides are now in. Let's drop the car and then pray that it doesn't rub, because I'm going to be so upset if this rubs after all that work. So we got the car off the jack, and it definitely filled in the gap a good amount. I would actually be very happy if that's the right height. This side, this side it's super close, but I think it's just because that tire's on the grass, so the car's lower on this side. So what I'm gonna do is back up and then we'll get the car straight on the concrete and we'll see how the fitment is, make sure we're not rubbing. So this is the ride height. I'm actually pretty happy with it. When I do get wheels, I think I'm gonna step up to 18s and get a smaller sidewall, because these are 50 sidewall, so I might step down to a 40. But I do like how it's filling out the wheel well now, and now the car isn't leaning back. It's actually leaning down a little bit in the front. Actually, it kind of looks more normal now. I guess I'm just used to it being like that. But now to find out if it rubs. So it's not rubbing, but I totally forgot that this was there. I don't have the sprayers. I still have to take them out of the old hood. So this has just been sitting in the engine bay, but I noticed that it was sitting on the tire right now. So I don't know how long it's been like that, but I'm gonna put it back in the bay and zip tie it up. Cool, but we are good to go. And as I was parking this, I backed out into the street and I turned it while the car was moving and I didn't hear any rubbing. So we are all good to go. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. Like I said, I already ordered coilovers, so when they show up, we'll have a video on that, and I wanna throw those in as soon as I get them. I'm pretty sure that my struts are factory. Like, I don't think they've been changed since the car came out of the factory. So once we get the coilovers, I'm gonna be very happy. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Check out some of my other videos. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.